Hello, I thought I'd start this video off with a bit of exciting news. Due mid-February.
Where are we?
We're in hospital.
Nothing to worry about.
So what's that?
I've encountered it before. They kill.
It's gonna kill us all, isn't it?
I'm trying to imagine the answer to the question. I can't quite see the solution.
Hi, I'm Phil, welcome to my channel, and excuse me if I'm a bit tired today because, it's very hard, being this pregnant and doing these videos. More on that. Here's the scan. Very cute, isn't it? Yeah. Oh. In all seriousness, though, this may just be a pillow. Hold on. Yeah, I think you probably guessed that. But genuine, actual good news. This is a genuine scan, and February is the due date of my next child. So hey, announcement time at the beginning of this video. There we go. Not the real bump though. I couldn't resist the opportunity to use this episode, given that there was a pregnant man in it, to use that as a way of announcing that I would be having another child, which means in a few years' time, like sometimes you might see, if long-term subscribers of my channel will know that my daughter Paige, who's coming up on 4, is often bouncing around in the background of videos and things if I'm recording when she's awake and here. So probably another one of those. We'll be doing that in a few years' time once they can walk and decide they want to get in on the video action. It does mean a couple of changes though. I'm having to give up this room as my filming room because this is currently our spare bedroom. And I've just got my shelves all nicely in the background like I like it. And unfortunately, within the next few months, I'm going to have to give up this room so that we can decorate it so that Paige can move into it, so that my daughter can move into it, and then so that baby can have her smaller bedroom. So I'm going to have to find a new filming location in the house. That's going to be annoying. But that's enough of my news. Let's talk about the episode. The Tsuranga Conundrum was written by Chris Chibnall and directed by Jennifer Perot, and it was another episode where Team TARDIS are trapped in a confined space of some sort, avoiding a threat, right after last week's episode where they were trapped in a confined area, avoiding a threat. Seemed an odd choice to have those two episodes back to back, but hey, this episode did it better, so gotta give it that at least. I like the fact that they started off indicating that they'd been to a few places. They haven't just gone straight from their last adventure to this one. That was quite nice. There's been a bit in between. And in that opening sequence, I thought it was quite nice that they were, doing something. That the Doctor had them, they were working as a team to find something on this junk planet or something like that. And then, of course, they get hit by a sonic bomb. Was it? Sonic grenade? No, not grenade. Sonic bomb. Bomb that injures them all, and then they wake up on the spaceship. Now, the Doctor, I am someone who likes the fact I like a fallible Doctor. I don't like a Doctor that knows everything, gets everything right all the time. I like the Doctor to get things wrong every once in a while, but I do feel that it needs to be every once in a while, not every episode getting something wrong. And I don't know, this hasn't bothered me until this episode and until this moment, but I kind of feel like they've taken maybe that a little bit too far, and she almost got them killed here on an opening sequence, and it just seems, like I say, I don't mind the Doctor getting things wrong. I don't even mind the Doctor doing something that ends up putting their companion's life in danger. That's fine every once in a while, but to do it just as a throwaway in the opening sequence to set up the episode, I don't know, there's something about that bugs me a little bit, and I'm not sure what, and I think it's possibly that they've overplayed that hand a little bit too much. I don't know, what do you think? Once they were on the ship, though, I think the episode was mostly pretty well paced. I thought it was pretty much action, go, go, go all the time, which worked for this episode. You had there was the sort of direction and the style of the the cuts between scenes, because you had various people on different bits of the ship at any one point, and the way that would quickly cut between them and intersperse them, so you'd have a little bit of one scene going on, like someone giving birth and Graham and Ryan helping that guy give birth, but it would be cutting between that and the Doctor trying to solve the problem with the creature. And I just liked the pace of it, and I thought, yeah, that was very well spaced out. And another big thing that this episode did well, I think, that the last episode didn't, in, you know, its similar sort of setup of having them trapped with a group of people that they didn't know beforehand. Well, actually, last week they did know some of them beforehand, because obviously Yaz knew her mum, but just being trapped with a group of people, very similar situation. But the people, I think, were much better rounded characters this time. Last time you had the scientist woman, who I didn't think she didn't feel real to me. She felt a bit wooden. And you had your Donald Trump parody, who, while I thought Chris North did a brilliant... Is it Chris North or Chris North? Anyway, this was last week. He did a great job anyway, but he was a little bit hammy, and the stuff was very on the nose. I thought every character in this episode, there wasn't one I didn't like. I thought they all played their parts really well. Let's talk about some of them, actually. We had Brett Goldstein playing Astos, not Atos, Astos. And he wasn't in it for very long because he died quite early on. But I really liked him while he was in it. And I thought one moment I really liked was that moment where he put the Doctor in her place, because she was, no, must get back to my TARDIS. I'm gonna commandeer the ship, basically. And he basically stopped her in her tracks and said, you are being selfish. There are people on this ship that need to get to this destination, to this hospital. And by trying to turn it around so you can go back for your ship, you are being selfish. And that completely stopped her in her tracks, and I thought that was a really nice moment from him there. I thought the stuff with the character of Eve was very nice. There was a bit of a mystery of what she was hiding from her brother, what was her illness, and how that would play into the story. And unfortunately for her, it eventually led to her death. But I thought the sort of character arc over the episode was quite nice there. And there was, who else was there? There was the android guy, Ronan, who was played by David Shield. So David Shield played him, and I thought I liked the way he played that android. It reminded me very much of the synths from the Channel 4 series Humans, if you've seen that. It was very much that kind of portrayal of androids, but it worked really well here. The sort of emotionless, but still had a slight bit of personality to it. Yeah, that was good. He did a good job of doing that, and he kept it up, I think, throughout the whole lot, so that's impressive. And you had your pregnant guy, of course. Let's talk about the pregnant guy briefly. I think this was a lovely little segment, of which I gladly latched onto for my opening for this video. I thought it was played amusingly for laughs most of the time, but it sort of served two purposes. There was the comedy element of it, which I think they did really well. The surprise on Ryan and Graham's faces, and them having to deal with being the sort of was it birth buds? Was that it? Birth buds? That was very amusing to watch. But then you, on another level, you also had this nice moments. These few nice moments that allowed that situation allowed Ryan to open up a bit more about his relationship with his dad. So it sort of served a comedic purpose, but also a quite nice sort of serious character development purpose for our regulars as well. So that was all very nice. And yeah, Avocado Pear, interesting name. The character development stuff are the bits that I'm really liking in this series so far. I think that's Chris Chibnall's strength, and where he puts it in, it works really well. And we actually had a nice moment this time between Ryan and Yaz. I mean, we had a nice few little bits between Ryan and Graham, but Ryan and Yaz was the sort of big bit this time of character development, when he opened up about his dad a bit more to her, and about his mum's death, because she asked him directly, how did your mum die? And we find out that he actually found her dead at the kitchen sink. She collapsed. So that was a nice reveal, a nice bit of character development. I think it gave us a bit more insight into Ryan, and also developed Ryan and Yaz's relationship a bit more, because they've now got that sort of that to bond, that conversation to bond over, that they've become closer. He shared that with her, and now because of that they're a little bit closer, and she understands him a little bit more. I think it's a nice moving. My theory is that they're going to end up as a couple at some point, and up until now we've had a few sort of hints of that in the sort of flirting arenas. We've had a few little comments here and there which could be construed as mild flirting. I think this is the next sort of another stage to it, where we're starting to see a bit of emotional connection between the two of them as well, which is really nice. Overall, I think this was another okay episode. It was better than last week's. I think it would have been better placed somewhere else in the series, maybe, because it's so similar to last week's episode. It seemed a bit of an odd placing for it in terms of the initial setup. I haven't talked about the creature, have I? I've got to talk about the creature. The creature, okay, because I had heard that there was some criticism in advance about this creature from people that had seen maybe a preview or something. I hadn't read the preview myself, so I went in only hearing one thing about it, which was that they compared it to the adipose. And I think that's an unfair comparison, because, I mean, the adipose were fairly innocent creatures in all. Yes, their birth caused the death of people, but ultimately they were innocent. And I think the only comparison with them is that they were both cute CGI characters. And yes, the creature does look incredibly cute. And I've got to say, whatever your feelings are about whether or not that creature should or should not have been cute, I don't think anybody could argue that the CGI on it was absolutely brilliant. It's another score for the CGI team on the special effects. Bringing in that new special effects team this year has been definitely the right decision, because all of the CGI I've seen in this series so far has been spot on, and this is no exception. It is amazingly rendered, this creature, and I don't think even people that are against that end up saying that they don't like this creature because it's too cute or whatever, I think they would not argue that it was very well rendered in terms of the special effects. So there's that. And I think the cuteness, okay, I get why people might be against the cuteness, but I think there's something particularly menacing about something that looks really cute and then suddenly bares its teeth and attacks. I think that can actually be really menacing, and you got that. It was a vicious little creature. This is no adipose. The adipose were cute constantly. This was it. Yeah, it had a cute face, but my word, was it vicious. It was a vicious little creature, and I think the cuteness kind of worked to surprise, because we weren't expecting, people wouldn't have been necessarily expecting that. The TARDIS team weren't expecting that. It's yeah, good. I quite like the look of it generally, although it did remind me a little bit of Nibbler from Futurama, who also is a creature that looks cute but has a vicious side. So, but the general look of it looked a bit like Nibbler, didn't it? It's not just me. So yeah, where was I? I was wrapping up and talking about my overall thoughts. I thought it was a okay episode. I thought they pulled off the ending a lot better than last week. Last week's ending was very abrupt. It sort of came out of nowhere, felt very anticlimactic. But they both came up you could see the plan gradually coming together to stop the creature, so it felt actually earned this time. And also, after that point, last time, after the plot ended, it just kind of like suddenly they were doing the whole joining the TARDIS bit, and it didn't feel like there was any wrap up, but there felt like there was a wrap up here. And it ended with the nice little ceremony over the dead general woman, sort of a funeral of sorts, which was a nice moment, touching moment to go out on. So yeah, what would I give this one? I would give this a I think I gave last week's a 6. Did I give last week's a 6 or a 5? No, I think I gave it a 6. So maybe this one as a low 7 or high 6. No, this one's definitely better than... Oh, what did I give the Ghost Monument? Because I think this is better than the Ghost Monument. So I should keep a note of what I scored other stuff as, shouldn't I? So I could rank stuff accordingly. I'm going to give this... I'm going to give it a 6 for now. I'll readjust at the end of the season if I feel I need to. But for the moment, I'm going to give this a 6 out of 10. Yeah, it was an enjoyable episode. It's not going to wow anybody, but it's fun. And it was well paced, and all of the characters were good. Generally, it was I'm much relieved that they improved a lot on last week. So there's that. Thank you for watching. Let me know what you thought of the episode in the comments down below, and don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and all that jazz. And I'll be back next week again for another episode, for another review of another episode. In the meantime, do check out some other of my videos. Here is a review from last week's review if you want to check that out, if you haven't watched it already, and another video you might like as well. So check those out, and if you haven't, subscribe. It'd be nice to see you around and chat in the comments and things. See you next week. Bye.